One problem I had on my first kayak fishing trip was clutter. Now, I thought I had it all dialed in before I went out, but once I hit the water, I quickly realized that wasn't the case. So after a few more trips and some tweaking, I think I got the kayak to where I want it. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. So starting at the front of the kayak, I added this length of rope to help me stand up and also to tie off to things. And to the end of the rope, I added a carabiner so that I can clip it onto the bungee right here so that it doesn't flop around. On the right side, I added a 5-inch Garmin Fish Finder on the included track. I put it on a Scotty base plate so I can take it on and off the Scotty track adapter easily. So here's the wire coming off the fish finder along the side of the kayak into the scupper mounted transducer. I know there's talk online that the transducer cannot be mounted through the scupper hole on the Pelican 130 because the scupper hole is too small. This is the center scupper hole, and I just used some PVC and a Dremel tool to run the wire and secure that on there. So it's on there solid, and it's slightly above the hull line. It's just a hair above that, so dragging it on sand, probably not a good idea, which I've actually already done. You can see some scratches, but not too bad. But in the water, it works fine. The transducer is far enough underwater that it still works perfectly. When I transport my kayak and it's bouncing around in the back of my truck, I thought this thing would start to fall, but it really hasn't. It's working out pretty well. So now we're at the back of the kayak. I didn't do too much here with the rudder, but after you adjust your rudder, you get this extra section down here that just kind of flops around. Well, I found that you can actually loop it around twice, and it keeps it nice and tucked in. That way you don't have any loose cables dangling anywhere. On the left side, just below the factory paddle holder, I installed a clip-on paddle holder, and it'll work in conjunction with the factory. So if you want it extra secure, you can just double up like that, and I doubt that paddle's gonna go anywhere. And then also on the left side, I installed this anchor trolley. So it runs from here, the front of the kayak, all the way to the back. And I just bought the anchor trolley kit on Amazon, but I did add these bungees. If I'm anchored and a swell hits my kayak, the trolley doesn't take up all that shock, or the rivets don't take all that shock. Rather, the bungee would just kind of flex and move around with the wave. And also I made these neoprene sleeves to go over the pulleys so that when the pulleys slap the side of the kayak, it doesn't make that loud thunking sound. Alright, so that anchor trolley kit also comes with this cleat that you can use to secure your trolley line so that once you have your anchor set, it doesn't move around. So still on the left side, I added this fishing rod holder as well as a GoPro camera mount. Here is the left side factory bungee. Just in front of that, there was like a little flat area on the side of the hull. So what I did was I bought a plastic basket and I just cut it out to fit the contours of the kayak, and then I just glued it on there. And now it's on there pretty good, and I just use this to hold like my lure scents, any used tackle or whatever. I just throw it in here, and it's kind of like my catch-all bin. Right here on the side is also where I keep my scissors. There's like a little gap. I just dropped that right in there. Alright, so still on the left side of the kayak, I keep a water bottle right here, a tape measure. So on the left side of the seat is where I keep my kage or cage spear. It's for landing fish. Rather than using like a broomstick like a lot of people suggest, I use my old trekking pole, which is telescopic and it's carbon fiber, so it's lighter. And once you tighten it down, it's solid. I mean, this thing's not going anywhere. You can easily pick up a fish with this. And also I added a like a little bungee to the end of this thing so I can use it as like a makeshift Hawaiian spear if I really need to. Okay, so under the seat is where I keep a lot of my pre-tied tackle. So on the left side, I have all my bait fishing leaders tied onto a noodle and ready to go because I don't like tying knots when I'm out on the water. It just slips into these PVC tubes down here. I like using these PVC pipes because it makes it easy to put it away and take it out, and I don't have to worry about snagging on hooks. Next to that is a fish gripper, and on the right side is where I keep all my sabikis. Alright, so I forgot to mention earlier, here on the right side of the kayak is where I keep all my lures. These are the most commonly used lures. I don't carry too many. If these don't work, I just figured I'll go to bait. So I've heard of instances where people flip their kayak and their drive system falls out. I hope I never flip, but in case I do, I put on a bungee. This bungee right here clips onto this wire loop that I attached to this factory clip. So it just clips on like that. My fish grips are also attached to that wire. This is my cooler slash live well. It's just a cheap Igloo brand cooler, but it fits perfectly in the tank well in the back of the Pelican 130. And I really like this cooler, especially because the lid opens that way. When I'm sitting in the kayak, I can reach back in either direction and get to the bait. I just keep a small bait net in here. I know I probably should get a different one. This is kind of too small for sardines, but that's what I got, so I'm using it for now. Anyway, to close it, all I gotta do is pull on this bungee right here, and it closes. Alright, so to power the fish finder and the live well, behind the seat I have this plastic ammo can that contains a 12-volt battery and a 6-volt battery for the live well. At 12 volt it does pump too much water too fast and it wasn't able to drain fast enough, so I went with a 6-volt battery and it seems to work a little better. So anyway, that's that, and I have it on just these waterproof connectors, and this is the on and off switch for the live well. Alright, so on the very back of the kayak, attached to my cooler, is an old broken fishing rod that I cut down and I use as my flag holder. So I put that on my kayak every time I go out. I know it's a long shot, but I just don't want to risk getting hit by a boat. So here on the other side of the cooler is my water outlet for the live well. When I first started, it was a 3/4 inch pipe, but then I realized the water wasn't leaving the live well quick enough, so I increased it to a 1-inch pipe, and now it seems to work a whole lot better. You've already probably noticed, but these are little clips that I just added to each corner of the cooler that I've attached to these bungees that I made, and it holds the cooler down pretty securely. I mean, I doubt, even if I flip, I don't think this cooler is coming off. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's on there pretty good. And here on each side, I have little fishing rod holders that I made, again with bungee. The kayak comes with these like little pads on the deck where your feet would go, I guess, but the rest of it was kind of open. It was all exposed plastic, so when you drop things it would be super loud. So what I did was I bought a sheet of self-sticking neoprene and just cut it out to fit the shape of the deck, and it just sticks on there, and now it's like super quiet. Like you can drop, I'll use this as an example, let's say a 2-ounce sinker, and I'll drop it right here in the front where I don't have any neoprene, and it sounds like that. And if I drop it right here where the neoprene is, it's a lot quieter. So I think that just about covers everything. Alright, so I almost forgot my PFD. I always wear it. So this is where I keep my fishing pliers and a knife. I like to have the knife on me in case, I don't know, I flip and I need a knife really bad. So that's where that stays. On this side, I keep an emergency whistle, some tape, a small first aid kit, and a red smoke grenade in case I need to signal for distress. On this side, which probably won't have too much stuff in here right now, so I got some nose spray and sunscreen, but this is where I would keep my car keys, wallet, and cell phone. Okay, so there you have it. That's my kayak fishing setup. I'm sure things will change as I go out more and gain more experience, but for now, it seems to be working. Thanks for watching.